I was wrong about that, and for that, I'm sorry.
5 opponents for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41 if CM Punk faces Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins could be left without a clear opponent if CM Punk faces Roman Reigns at WWE WrestleMania 41. Before that, Seth will be facing Punk on the Netflix premiere of Raw on January 6th. Recent reports suggest that WWE has locked in on a potential opponent for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. That would be CM Punk, who still has a favor from Paul Heyman waiting for him. It could be Punk's golden chance to get a WrestleMania main event and strike it off his bucket list. However, that would leave Seth Rollins without a clear opponent for Mania, as many WWE fans expected the two bitter rivals to go head-to-head at the grandest stage of them all. With that in mind, check out the 5 potential opponents for Seth Rollins at 2025 Show of Shows if CM Punk faces Roman Reigns. Braun Breaker is riding high at the moment as the reigning Intercontinental Champion in his second reign. To retain his title, the 27-year-old star has overcome top names, including Jey Uso, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Triple H could give Breaker a long run with the title that could last until WrestleMania 41. At the Show of Shows, Seth Rollins could challenge Braun Breaker for the title in one of the big championship matches. It would make sense to have Seth Rollins in a title match at WrestleMania if he doesn't get to face CM Punk or Roman Reigns. He's one of the top guys in WWE who can give Braun Breaker a massive push with a good match at Mania. Number 4. Damian Priest is another top name on WWE Raw. Ever since Judgment Day betrayed him, Damian Priest has been a top babyface on WWE Raw. Much like Seth Rollins, the Archer of Infamy will also look for an opponent for WrestleMania 41. If he does not get a title match for the event, WWE could book him in a grudge rivalry with a heelish Rollins. Having the two top men of Raw get head-to-head at the Show of Shows wouldn't require any titles to be put on the line. A rivalry between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins could start during the 2025 Royal Rumble. The two men could take it forward and have a final showdown at WrestleMania 41 to determine who is the better man. The rivalry between CM Punk and Seth Rollins had to be fast-tracked after Bronson Reed suffered an injury at Survivor Series War Games. Reed was injured after CM Punk saved Roman Reigns from a tsunami splash from the top of the cage. The last match between Bronson Reed and the Visionary saw the former come out on top thanks to Solo Sikoa's Bloodline's help. Rollins could look for a final match between the two WWE stars if Reed is cleared to compete before the Show of Shows. Revisiting the rivalry to put a decisive end to it would make perfect sense and allow Triple H and his men to book another top grudge match for the big event. Number 2. Solo Sikoa and Seth Rollins have a story to tell. Seth Rollins has already helped to bring down one tyrant in the form of Roman Reigns. The Visionary could look to do something similar again, especially with Solo Sikoa and his bloodline costing him his last match with Bronson Reed. Solo Sikoa will face Roman Reigns in Tribal Combat on the Netflix debut of Raw. If Sikoa wins, he could start ruling Raw or SmackDown, even proving to be as much of an oppressor as the OTC was. Seth Rollins could turn face again and target Solo to take him out of power and prove to WWE fans that he wants what's best for them. A rivalry between the Visionary and Solo Sikoa will surely be a must-watch affair heading into WrestleMania. With CM Punk and Roman Reigns possibly busy in a rivalry heading into WrestleMania 41, Drew McIntyre will also be on the lookout for top names to face at the show. The Scottish Warrior is currently hunting down members of the OG bloodline, and many believe he could face the OTC at the Show of Shows. However, if CM Punk and Roman Reigns dance at the show, it will make sense to book him against his WrestleMania 40 opponent. WWE fans could see Seth Rollins and McIntyre reignite their rivalry for WrestleMania, this time without a title on the line. The Scottish Warrior did attempt to attack Rollins backstage on a recent edition of Raw before Sami Zayn intercepted him. Having the two heavyweights go head-to-head at the show will allow Triple H to book a top match. They can deliver another top-class performance at the show. CM Punk explains his WWE feud with Seth Rollins. The locker room is only so big. While CM Punk got through his lengthy, heated feud with Drew McIntyre, the Second City Saint, has had beef with Seth Rollins since the moment he first returned during WWE Survivor Series 2023. Punk recently appeared at the Raw on Netflix kickoff event, where he explained why he's now gearing up for a feud with the Visionary. I think I want to spend less time on the details and more on, again, history. This is just what happens when you get two guys in the business that, in a way, have no peers, Punk explained, pointing back to how, in history, two men who are similar will inevitably clash. The locker room is only so big. It can only fit so many egos. There's a lot of talented people in the locker room, and a lot of times, sometimes it comes down to there's only room for one of us, Punk continued, saying that this is ultimately how he views the situation between him and Rollins. The two men are already set for their first match, which will take place during the inaugural WWE Raw on Netflix this coming January. Elsewhere during his appearance at the kickoff event, Punk also shared his excitement for WWE's latest endeavor and harkened back to how pro wrestling has evolved over the years from territories to deals with Netflix today, and compared the jump to the streaming platform when wrestling originally made the jump to cable decades ago. Top 5 opponents Seth Rollins could face if WWE plans CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 41. Seth Rollins will face CM Punk in Raw's Netflix debut episode. According to recent reports from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, a match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns has been heavily discussed by the WWE for WrestleMania 41. Earlier reports suggested that the feud between Rollins and Punk would continue till WrestleMania 41, culminating in their clash at the Grandest stage. The 41st edition of WrestleMania is scheduled to take place as a two-night event on April 19th and 20th, 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Paradise, Nevada, USA. If WWE books this match for the Grand Stage in April, it means Seth Rollins won't face Punk at Allegiant Stadium. Let's look at the top 5 opponents the Visionary could face if WWE books Punk versus Reigns. 5. Braun Breaker. The Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker recently defended his title against Ludwig Kaiser in the recent episode of the Red Brand. Breaker is also coming off a successful title defense against Sheamus and Kaiser in a triple threat match at Survivor Series 2024 PLE. Breaker's title reign is currently at 61 days. And with 3 successful defenses, the IC champion's stardom continues to grow. A clash against the Visionary at the Grandest stage would catapult Breaker even further into the main event scene, solidifying his status in the history books. The Ring General Gunther is another potential opponent for Rollins at the Grandest stage. Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, is in the midst of a 140-day title reign. Meanwhile, Rollins began the year as heavyweight champion, with a reign that has now lasted 316 days. A clash between the two titans would be a spectacular match for fans and would